What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Geekdom for some dub talk for Dragon Ball Super, and I guess Dragon Ball Z in a way as well, to kind of clarify what happened in the last 2 days. So if you've been around the internet this past week, you heard that ToonamiAsia is the first company to get the license to distribute Dragon Ball Super, and they plan on bringing the first English language Dragon Ball Super series mid-2016. Now, initially when this news report came out, a lot of people assumed, oh snap, we're getting the English dub finally mid-2016, and people jumped to conclusions way too fast without really waiting to see what was going on and who was actually going to do it. Well, FUNimation on Friday came out and said that they have nothing to do with the ToonamiAsia dub. And I covered this in a quick news report. It was a Condenshu. You guys saw the video yesterday. And I saw a large amount of people actually confused about what was said and what that actually means. It seems a lot of people were confused and thought that FUNimation is not doing the Dragon Ball Super dub at all, which is 100% false. They are going to do it. It might come out before ToonamiAsia, it might come out after. We don't really know, but it's going to come out eventually. And I want to make sure that people understand that by no means does FUNimation not plan on doing this dub. They are going to do it eventually because, I mean, obviously their company, it makes sense for them. It's a huge fan base for Dragon Ball here in the US, and the FUNimation Dragon Ball dub was huge, so there's no way that they would just skip something as big as this. So the FUNimation dub for Dragon Ball Super is coming eventually. Now, before we get to the next point, I want to point out some that somebody said in my comments that actually makes sense. FUNimation might actually be waiting for Dragon Ball Super to be more finished or closer to have more episodes out before they dub it, because they are selling DVDs after all, and they can't really dub a series without having something to sell. So they're probably waiting for maybe the first season to be finished, then they can start working on it, or maybe waiting for the whole series to be finished.
Well,
so
I heard they're trying now to get it, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so I mean, the point is they're trying to sell DVDs, so they'll probably wait until they have a chunk of episodes done, then they'll dub it, and they'll probably announce sometime 2016, and we'll, when we get the actual word on that, we'll announce it. But for now, just understanding that FUNimation is going to do it, but the FUNimation dub is going to be different from the ToonamiAsia dub, which we probably most likely won't see, as Geekdom said, right?
Well, I said it before it went on the air. But yeah, I told you that.
We were discussing this earlier. But the other thing I want to kind of address is the Ocean dub. It seems a lot of people are really confused as to what's going on here. A lot of people are saying, oh my god, it's a FUNimation dub all over again. No! I don't think you guys know what the FUNimation dub is, so I kind of brought Geekdom on to kind of explain the different dubs that we saw growing up for Dragon Ball. So, Geekdom, why don't you go ahead and jump into that?
Yeah, so pretty much there is a lot of confusion going on, and one thing you have to understand is that there are, and again, very few shows have this problem, but it's Dragon Ball, it's never easy. There are multiple English dubs for Dragon Ball Z throughout history. Some of them were out for distribution in this country, and some of them were not even associated with us. Before we get to that, the Dragon Ball Super Asian dub is going to be created for the Asian market, not for the North American market. FUNimation, Sean Schemmel, Chris Sabat, all of your favorites, they are trying to get it for here. And like you said, it's probably going to happen. I have very little doubts about that. So this dub does not in any way ruin or change how FUNimation is going to do what they do. It ain't going to ruin it one bit. But the confusion that you're talking about is what the actual Ocean dub is. So FUNimation was not the first company to get the rights to Dragon Ball. Way back in '89, the first company to get the rights to Dragon Ball is Harmony Gold. And Harmony Gold released very limited. They released 2 Dragon Ball movies, not Z, Dragon Ball, and 5 or 6 episodes, which nobody has been able to find. The movies are actually on YouTube. You can look these up. They're not that hard to find. They aired them in very limited markets, and some people actually own them. But the episodes, I've never seen them. And I've been around. I've looked in the dark corners of the internet. I cannot find this. So that was the first license. And then what happened was, in the mid-90s, FUNimation and through Saban Entertainment licensed Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And what they did was FUNimation contracted with 2 companies. One was Pioneer to release this series on DVD and VHS, and the other one was Ocean Studios to dub Dragon Ball Z into English. The original Dragon Ball Z dub that we got in this country was the Ocean dub. That's the one with Brian Drummond, Scott McNeil, the original Ocean cast. That dub was criticized for being heavily edited. It was 67 episodes, which was the first 2 seasons of Dragon Ball Z, the Vegeta saga and the Namek saga. They cut it down from 67 episodes to 53, just heavily edited. This is the whole brilliant scientist stuff. This is the, keep your eye on the birdie. All those famous dub lines that you may have heard are from the Ocean dub, okay? Then what happened was, in 1999...
can we
Yeah,
also
go ahead,
say
sorry.
the over 9,000 line came from that too?
Yes. Oh, that's
infamous
the big one. How could I forget? And the music was also done by Shuki Levy and Ron Wasserman, who also did Power Rangers. Now, then what happened was the Ocean dub aired in syndication, very hard to find in 96, 97. And unless you were around back then, you had syndication, you don't remember this. Then what happened was Cartoon Network started the Toonami block, and it was originally like Sailor Moon, Johnny Quest. They got Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z aired on Toonami and did the highest ratings of any show in the history of that network, to the point where people pretty much, Cartoon Network had no choice but to contact Funimation and say, we need you to dub the rest of the series because this is a hit. And what happened was, in 1999, Funimation got the rights to the Frieza Saga, which is Season 3. There's only one problem. The Ocean cast had already moved back to Canada, where they're based in. Funimation did not want to spend money bringing back Shuki Levy, bringing back the Ocean cast. So what they did was they hired an in-house cast, and that's where you got Chris Sabat.
If you want, I can explain this one, because I remember I was talking to Chris Sabat about this back in like January, and they specifically told him, look, we need to emulate all these voices. So it's our job, or your job now, to basically find all the voices and basically make sure they sound as close to as possible as the Ocean dub as well. I remember he was telling me this entire story, and that's why they sound fairly similar too between all the actors.
Yeah, and that's why if you go back and watch the old Ginyu Assault tapes, if anybody still has those, you'll notice that Sabat tries to sound like Drummond. Sean Schemmel was not very good back then. Even he would admit that. He was like a stage actor, I think, and then he kind of got the gig. So what happened was, they hired all these new guys. We taught Mike McFarlane, all the guys that we know as the Funimation cast now, and they went in there and they dubbed Season 3 of Dragon Ball Z, significantly less editing, and they released it both uncut and edited. Well, what happened was, it was a hit, and again, this kind of proves what I've been saying before, because a lot of people think that, Bruce Faulconer's music was the reason that Dragon Ball was so big, and there's unsubstantiated evidence to that at all. There's no evidence. The reality is that Dragon Ball was a hit before Faulconer was even hired. So what happened was, Funimation took control. Sabat, Schemmel, all these guys pretty much became the voices of Dragon Ball. But what about the Ocean group? What happened to them? Well, shortly after, when Funimation started to dub the Android and Cell Saga, Canada's YTV, I believe it was YTV, contacted them and said, we want our own dub. And so what happened was they brought the Ocean group back to dub Dragon Ball Z, but they started with the Android Saga. And this version of Dragon Ball Z, the Ocean version, is only available in Canada, but you can find clips on YouTube online and things like that.
YouTube online, and mostly Dailymotion. I don't know why, but Dailymotion has basically almost every single episode in the Ocean dub online. So if you're ever looking for it, go to Dailymotion. You can find it yourself.
Yeah, I'm almost done, by the way. I know I'm telling the whole story here, but I'm almost done. So what happened was, it's very weird. There is no Ocean Frieza Saga. It does not exist. The only thing you can watch with Ocean is seasons 1 and 2, and then seasons 4, which is the Android Saga and up. And I'm using seasons here. They're not real seasons, but I'm using the Funimation terminology of seasons. They're not really seasons. So Ocean comes back and does the Canadian version of Dragon Ball Z. That's fine. Funimation finishes Dragon Ball Z, finishes Dragon Ball GT, then goes back and redubs seasons 1 and 2 with the new voices, and then they release those as the Ultimate Uncut editions from back in like 2005. And then when the Orange Bricks came out, that was the first time when Funimation actually had the entire cast do the entire series. Sabat went back and revoiced his early performances, so that's why there's technically like 2 different Funimation Sabat dubs. It's confusing. Last point I want to make, the Malaysian and the Big Green dubs. Those are the ones people have been asking about. You're confused if you think that the Malaysian and the Big Green dub is the same one as the Ocean dub. I did a video about this on my channel called The Big Green Dub. Go watch it. There's more details there. The Big Green dub was an exclusive dub for Europe, I believe for the Netherlands and for the UK, and that's the infamous, let that child alone, and it's Big Green and all that. It's like not a great dub, and they only did the movies and a few of the episodes. They didn't do the whole series, and it's really bad. That has nothing to do with the Dragon Ball Super Asian dub. They're most likely not even going to call those people because it was so long ago. Plus, nobody even knows who the hell they are. And then there's the Malaysian dub, which is the if I don't eat rice, the power won't come. And that whole thing, that's the worst dub of Dragon Ball Z ever. But that's only for Malaysia. Again, and there's a lot of debate here. Konzenchu's talked about it. I've talked about it, how we're not really sure if the Malaysian dub is even legal, because when you buy a Malaysian video CD, this is super fucking nerdy, it has the Toei logo, and they got a trackless version of the series, but there's no like actual Toei distribution, so we don't even know how that deal was even made. That's one of the big mysteries of Dragon Ball. But the point is that don't worry about the Ocean dub. I'm sorry, don't worry about the Malaysian dub. Don't worry about the Big Green dub. Don't worry about the Ocean dub. We don't know who the voice actors are going to be for Super yet, for the Asian version, but at some point Funimation will get, I'm fairly sure they're going to get the rights to Super, and we'll have Sabit, Schemmel, Chris Ayres. They're all going to come back, and they're going to release it for US, probably Canada again. I don't think Ocean's coming back for this one. We don't know yet. We'll see. Probably not. And for Australia. So that's my rant and my ramble here. I can go into more detail, but we don't have time. There's a whole bunch of stuff that went on, but that's the simple version.
Yep. And again, to clarify, Funimation is going to do the dub. It's just, I want to make sure, because I don't know if people just tend to not watch the video sometimes, or they read the titles, which I know that's the big problem with clickbait. A lot of people get mad at clickbaiters because they tend to make the craziest titles, but then talk about something else. It's very important for people to actually watch the videos, and I don't know if with my specific video the other day, a lot of people chose not to really watch it, even though it's very short in 2 minutes. But it's important for news reports for you guys to check out the full video in its entirety. Some might be a little long, but a lot of them might be really short. Like usually for news updates, they're a lot shorter. But watch the whole thing so you understand what's going on. So again, Funimation is going to do it. They'll most likely will do it before ToonamiAsia. And to answer one more question, I saw a lot of people asking about Dragon Ball Z Kai by Funimation. They are finishing that up. It is not done yet, but it is process of being finished up. I believe it's only like
I think Schemmel said he has to do his lines, but
yeah,
Schemmel didn't hear from me. Yeah,
Schemmel myself to finish his lines. I'm not really sure. But whenever that gets done, that's going to get released on DVD as well. And I'm pretty sure after that's done, based on how many episodes there are for Dragon Ball Super, they will start working on that as well. And again, we most likely might get Dragon Ball Super before ToonamiAsia. I mean, they said mid-2016 is their goal release date. For all we know, Funimation can announce it tomorrow and have it out by January, by February, by March, whenever that happens, because it shouldn't take them that long to record it once they have the license and the team together. So
all you have to do is remember, all you have to do is remember the Asian English dub has nothing to do with Funimation. Just pretend it's like an alternate universe. It's Universe 6. It's a Universe 6 dub. Let the people in that side of the world watch it.
Yeah, and we most likely will never even see that. Like, I doubt we will see that the ToonamiAsia dub ever make it onto the internet.
We'll see it on YouTube, but we're not going to see it. You're not going to turn on Toonami and hear, you're not going to turn on like Toonami or Nickelodeon and not hear like Schemmel and those guys. I don't think.
Yeah. So again, if anybody is still confused about anything, feel free to drop us a comment below. I just kind of wanted to redo this video so people understand that Funimation is happening. And someone even left a comment saying, "Why do I keep repeating myself?" This is why I repeat myself, folks. I repeat myself solely to get my message across as clear as possible, and I guarantee there's still going to be some people confused in the comments below. But if you are, just drop a comment. We'll do our best to answer. If you enjoyed today's video, of course, leave a like rating below as well. And let's just keep our eye open. Dragon Ball Super in English should be coming out sometime in the next year or so at least, I'd say. And when that happens, when the announcement happens, I'll make a video. Geekdom will make a video. Funimation will send a press release. You will know when that gets announced. And it's going to happen. This isn't a maybe. It is going to happen. If Funimation decides not to do Dragon Ball Super in English, it's literally stupid for them. They're not going to do that. And I know they want to do it too. They've said before that they're working on getting a license as well. But this is like months back when the show was first announced. So it is going to happen. And when it happens, you will know. But for now, just kind of ignore the ToonamiAsia stuff unless you live in that region, in which case, let us know what you think about that dub when it comes out. But for now,
upload some clips. Really?
Upload some clips, yeah. For now, not that we say it's the right thing to do. Cause
not the whole episode. Not the whole episode, okay? I'm not advertising bootleg. I'm saying just a couple clips so we can hear how it sounds.
Yeah. But as soon as we find out about Funimation, all that stuff, we'll let you guys know. And I guess for now, we'll just, leave it at that. So yeah, Geekdom, is there anything else that we wanted to say?
No, the only thing else is that I just want to say is that the dub thing is confusing. I don't blame people at all for being confused at all. Like, this is one of the ones where, sometimes people have accused me of being a little short fused, and I guess I can be sometimes with questions. But the dub situation is so damn confusing that, and I lived through it. That's why I know. But a lot of people didn't. We got a lot of younger people who are confused. You know, there's the Kai dub, the edited version. There's so much stuff. I'm just want to let everybody know, and this is not a plug. I do have a video on my channel about the Big Green and Malaysian dubs, and I will later on do a more in-depth video on Ocean and Harmony Gold. But that's going to be down the road, and I think those videos will help explain a little bit more about the history of these dubs. Not to mention that Kerbifer, a cheap plug for Kerbifer, has a series called Do You Know Voice Acting on YouTube, and he talks about all the different voice actors that have ever done, like Goku, and because remember, GT Final Bout had its own voice actor. So I mean, there's the materials out there, but I will work as best as I can to put out that video soon. Probably in the next few months I'll put out the Harmony Gold one so everybody kind of understands the history of that. But again, not plugging anything, but it's going to clear up a lot of misconceptions, I assure you.
And if you want to see his video, Geekdom's video about the Big Green dub, it is also linked in the description below. So go learn, I guess. So yeah,
I think it's a good video. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I thought.
Anyways, keep an eye on my channel later today. There should be a review for the new Dragon Ball Super episodes, because I know I always get comments like, "Hey, Rhymestyle, where's the review?" Remember, I watch my episodes every Sunday morning, and then I review them shortly after. So you should get it by the time this video is done, or by the time you watch this, the video should be already live on my channel. So keep an eye out on that as well. But yeah. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this quick explanation. Again, if you have any more questions, just drop us a comment below, and we'll do our best to answer. But other than that, you guys keep enjoying the rest of your day. This has been Geekdom I, Rhymestyle, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below.
Peace.